Okay, for life. Okay, go ahead. Let's hear it. This is Tagaloa. Okay, so for where you are now, you're almost there. Did you realize that coming after that, you just had the final A section?
Yeah,
Have you read through that?
a little bit.
Okay, we will definitely read that today. The main thing that I want to contribute before we even start is more to do with the performative setup or the performative logistics. I don't know what to call it. When you finish playing, I probably will start dimming the lights by measure 53, and they'll be fully off by measure 54. You'll probably play the last note in darkness. Okay, so there is going to be a lighting design going on in this performance. That's the first thing to say. The other thing to say is when you finish playing, do not take your hands off the piano. Even if people can barely see you, if they can see you, we don't want them uh, assuming that it's a time to clap. We're trying to create this as a through composed piece where it feels like one piece into the next. And I showed you the recording of what will happen before you guys play, right?
Yeah.
Great. So that's part of that. Also part of that is you are the first performer of the second half, right? So after the introduction comes on, your piece words will come on. When that happens, sorry, some random things. Oh, what's this? 1 second. Let me just throw this out of here. I didn't know how to turn it off. Your piece, your words will come on. Once your words come on, that's when you walk out. And my plan is to have the floor illuminated. So maybe have like an LED light or some kind of tea lights or something like that on the ground, but all the other lights will be down. So like 30 to 40% lighting.
Yeah.
But then you'll walk out, no one will clap. You'll sit down. When the lights come back up, then you will play. But one thing you need to talk about with Dr. Bell and Dr. Ludwig, this is a question you want to write down, is who's starting? Are you starting? Is Dr. Bell going to start for you? Is he going to conduct the orchestra from the start? So you need to determine that. And every lesson you have after today, up until the performance, is not going to be with me. It's going to be with one of them. Because even if I wasn't going to go away, you still need to take lessons with them. I'm going away from my personal situation, my family. So, right. But regardless of that, you still need to take lessons with them anyway. So that would have been the plan anyway. So it's kind of convenient. Um, so get that solved.
This meeting room.
We'll figure all that stuff out later. It's not going to happen for a while anyway, because we're closed starting from tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, okay. So now let's move into the maestoso. The molto maestoso that's happening here. Bum, bidum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. I think you're fine with this. Can you play only the pop melody in the right hand? So not the octaves, but just the A flat, D flat. Ba-dum. You going? Da-dum. You going? Yeah. Oh no, so wait, this part was also weird. Wait, these are just straight chord notes. D flat, C, D flat, E flat. You had a little mistake here. Right. That line has to go all the way through the opening. And I feel like it's generally going through there. Don't let the other parts interrupt that to the point of losing that line. Just let them interrupt it musically. Like we hear it as a new line, but it's not necessarily interrupting the direction of the line. So let's do it one more time, this time with that part. And I'd like to go through a little bit more in detail for some of these sections. So let's start from 17, but keeping that line, especially during all these interruptions. Maybe actually, can you start from pick up to 15? That way you get the line going. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Careful. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. A flat, B flat. This color here. Yeah. Were you playing that before?
Uh.
I think you're playing B natural.
Oh. Okay.
Were you?
I
Can't
think so.
hear fully clearly today. My speakers for some reason. Mhm. That's it. Good, good, good. That's much better. Okay, let's go back to pick up to 15. Bottom. And can we pedal, 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 pedal there? Just a little bit cleaner on the pedal. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Not staccato, just like a direct a legato pedal, but not so that we can blend those chromatic chords. Take your time. So your change of pedal will happen in syncopation with each next chord. So it'll be dum, bum, chick, chick, up and down, bum, chick, chick, up and down. So after you play the chord, you'll go up and down with the pedal. That's it. Again, practice that a few times. Great. And now everything at the moment is equal. Can you shape it a little bit so it's like more of a line? That's okay. That's pretty. I think you can go to the third one. Ti-dun, ta-dun. Yeah, maybe write that in. There's a small shape in there. Ti-dum, ba-dum, ti-dum, ba-dum. And then bum. Oh, and actually, no, that's not what happens here. That's here. Bottom. And then it comes to picks up from the F here. So then here, it's picking up from this, right? This is the back to that line. It's actually the same note that we left off on.
What?
Start from pick up to 19 now in the F. Oh, okay, wait, one more thing about that. That's what I think I was going to tell you. That these don't like have a gap. So it's just da 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 dum, da 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 dum. So maybe we'll practice that grouping from here. Da 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 dum. Da da dum dum. Da 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 dum. I can maybe go back here to six. Ba 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 bum. Ba 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 bum. Do this one. You don't need to be in a rush, but you do need to be like you need to attack that note, like just like you did before. That's it. There you go. All right, now with the right hand, take your time. Bum bum bum. I think you should take your time. Try to have this be a da da da. Yeah, and remember these are also still pa bum. This French overture thing. Ta 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 ta. One more time from here. Let's go ahead. A little bit faster this time. Okay, question. When we hear this chord, is this the chord that we expect? This one. Harmonically, think about where we've been. We're in C major recently. Our ear is starting to get acclimated to that C, G, C. And there's an E in the right hand leading us up into this, and the E in here. It's sounding a lot like a C major 7 or something like that, right? We're kind of getting comfortable in the C major. Actually, there's no B. It's just C major, right? And then out of nowhere, we get what?
Uh, B flat.
Yeah, we get the Neapolitan, and it doesn't really feel expected. It's kind of this unexpected chord. On top of that, we have a crescendo going on. So lead us into that blindly, like where we're just like rushing, ramming into it, and then at the last moment shift over in a D flat major. It should feel almost like there's a certain surprise or gravity to that moment. Like, whoa, what is this? And again, you should probably ask, coming back to the point of what I was saying with your future lessons that you have with Dr. Ludwig, you might want to ask him, like, what is this about? Like, what is this chord? Like, why does this chord happen? We're comfortable in C major. We're kind of exploring other keys here. We're pretty comfortable. Right? This looks a little bit like what? Like a B flat minor, something, maybe E flat something. But then all over to nowhere, we get this D flat major. Okay, and it seems to settle in pretty well because then the whole next group feels kind of comfy in D flat major. We just maybe ask him that,
Yeah.
right? Write it down as maybe one of those questions that you bring to the lesson. It's not really even D flat major, is it? It's kind of like, what is this? I don't know. You guys can figure it out. It's like a D flat something, just D flat centric. That chord itself is D flat major though. Let's go from 22. You know what I just realized? I'm not sure if you're actually doing this because you're playing it so fast, so it's hard for me to discern, but I don't hear it correctly. Are you playing groups of four? Or are you playing groups of three?
Oh, there's a three.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So these are actually, believe it or not, groups of four. Right? You're like, oh no, I have to count. Ah, counting. I'm allergic to counting. All right, you can do this. Can you can play that section again, but with the correct rhythm? Wait, no, no, no. So it's one, it's like one, two, three, four. Then the next group is like from the G is the next group. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, we don't have to like, we don't have to bear the pain of this right now. Just write it down to something that, sorry. It's okay. You just started this piece. You've only been working on it for like a week. Okay. So then you can, not even, you can start to go through that. And by the way, that same error happens here. I was wondering, I was like, she's cutting the beat, but then actually you weren't cutting the beat. Well, technically you were, but the actual mistake is that you weren't grouping them correctly. Okie dokie. And you're like, oh no, is it here as well? I don't know. Is it here as well? Here it's a little bit easier because it's 2 to 1. I know you were feeling it with the three, which might feel more comfortable. But actually, I think this is good because then it makes it more of a homogeneous or like blended pattern. You're like, but it's harder. Yes, it is harder. You'll be fine. Okay, let's go very slowly through this section. Very, very slowly. 31. Yeah. Play the right hand only and shape the right hand through. There we go. I don't know why that sounds like some kind of Christmas song. Da, da, da. Mm. What song? Wait, play that again. What Christmas song does it sound like? I've been listening to Christmas music more than normal. Play it one more time. Jingle bells. Oh, it's Jingle Bells. That shape, not this one. Da 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 da. Right? Mm. Da, 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 da. It doesn't do it exactly the same, but it's the concept. And then as you're shaping that through, just make sure that you arrive here. It's a downbeat arrival. Dee da. Go from here, from the A one more time, and just shape it all the way through to this. Da, 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 da. One thing that we can't solve right now because you're not playing on an actual piano right now is I want to make sure that you're really, really pushing off the keys on a lot of these chords, like really getting into the keys and making a big sound. Um, so at one point, I might ask you to take a session at Evergreen while working with Dr. Bell or Dr. Ludwig remotely, just so you can work on a real piano. Okay, because that way I really want to get you prepping on all of this. Okay, play this part now. Let's hear this. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about, right? Like this in performance with 18 other musicians, it's not going to work. You can't do it that way and it being effective. You're just going to get washed away. So you really, really, really need to play into the keys here. Da, 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 da. Like you really need to put all your weight into the keys and then push off on this part here. This needs to be like your arm is flying. Okay. Same thing for this next one. Try this one. And you can practice in the same way. You're just not going to be able to put as much weight into that keyboard, which is fine. Try for this one. Yeah, and here, did you play Gretchen on Sperade? You did, right?
Huh?
Did you ever play Gretchen?
Yeah.
Same concept here. Remember we talked about the push off, like the push off on the chords? You know what I'm talking about? Like when you play those large chords and you push off, it's kind of like the push. It's like you're pushing off the wall on a pool, and you're pushing as hard as you can while relaxing your body. So you put all of your energy and all of your weight into the wall and you push off. That kind of feeling. You're going to do the same thing here at 34. So you're going to lean into the keyboard, put all your weight down, and then push off. You get a really full sound on these. These here. You want to cut through the orchestra here. Okay, let's try that. Maybe just the three six tuplets before leading in. So from here, and then go to here. Lean in, lean in, lean in, lean in. This is your time to lean. Don't use your shoulders. Use your body weight with your left foot underneath you to push off. Almost like you're gonna stand up. Almost like a sensation of like you're gonna stand up. It's kind of feeling. Okay, let's try it again. Same spot again. Okay, good. I'm heading to Kaizen right now. So we'll finish there. It's coming along nicely. I think you'll be fine. My best recommendation is to move forward on this and get it memorized as soon as possible. Oh, important. January 2nd will be the first due date for your draft video. January 5th will be your final due date for the memorized, finalized video performance. No music, nothing like that. Okay, so on January 2nd, once you see those videos, we're going to give you guys feedback. You'll have more lessons after that. January 5th, you'll submit your final video. Okay. And then January 11 and 12 are the rehearsal and performance. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'll see you.